Hello everyone! For those who are new, I'm your host, Marcus. And I want to give a special greeting to our Vietnamese viewers. Chào bang! Hope I got that right and thank you for stopping by. If you are a CELPIP test taker, you really want to subscribe to our channel because our videos give you practical skills that you need for the test. And they're free, so what are you waiting for? Click that subscribe button now. In this video, you're going to learn a very important skill. Something that you need when you want to expand your vocabulary range without memorizing countless new words and deliver a response that doesn't sound boring. If you can do this effectively, you will sound a lot more like a native speaker, and of course, that's good news for your CELPIP score. I want to take you through this journey of learning English through examples. Why? Because I want you to be able to do this on your own once you finish watching this video. You may have heard your teacher in school say, use your own words when speaking or writing. That's what we'll discuss. This is called paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is the art of restating the same information, but in a different way. Before we look at the ways to do this, first, let's understand why paraphrasing is essential. Paraphrasing will rephrase sentences while retaining the original meaning. It's useful in both speaking and writing, and a must-have skill if you want to communicate effectively. And in the context of the CELPIP test, paraphrasing will give you these benefits. Number one, it makes your response less boring, as I said before, because there are less repetitions of words. Number two, it makes your response more natural. You may already notice this. Native speakers often paraphrase on autopilot. They don't think about it. They just do it. As a rule of thumb, to get a good score, we should aim to speak more like a native speaker. Number three, we do it to show that we understand what we just read or heard. And lastly, the benefit number four is that paraphrasing showcases our vocabulary range. This proves to the examiners that not only you understand the topic, you also know words other than the ones used in the questions. So given all those reasons, there's no excuse not to paraphrase in the test. This could be the missing piece that helps you achieve a higher level when you take your CELPIP or even IELTS test. Now, let's explore 5 methods to paraphrase. Are you ready? Method number 1, changing the order of words. This is probably the easiest method of all. We can change the order of words without changing the meaning. Don't worry, I've got some examples for you here so that you can examine them, and there will be examples for the other methods too. Example number 1. Some people prefer to have flexible work hours. Look at the underlined words. We can change the order of those words and the sentence will become, some people prefer to have work hours that are flexible. We're only changing the order, but the meaning doesn't change. Second example. If you want to save the environment, you need to stop buying disposable items. In this case, we can simply reverse the order of the clauses. And of course, again, we're not changing the meaning because we're paraphrasing. The sentence will become, you need to stop buying disposable items if you want to save the environment. Let's see one more example. Learning with the teacher is more effective than learning alone. Let's say we want to change the word order. We can turn the sentence into, compared to learning alone, learning with a teacher is more effective. So now we have learning alone in the beginning of the sentence rather than at the end. Easy, right? Let's move on to our second method. Method number 2 is using synonyms. Synonyms are words that have the same meaning as another word or phrase. For example, the word to purchase is the synonym of to buy. Now, we'll look at the examples of paraphrasing using synonyms. Starting from the very simple one. The little girl is very cute. The word very cute is synonymous to the word adorable. So we can simply say, the little girl is adorable. How about this sentence? Old people tend to hold a more conservative view. In this sentence, there are different words that we can replace with their synonyms. So we can create different sentences such as the elderly are more likely to have a more conservative view. See here, we've replaced the word old people with the synonym the elderly. Or we can also say seniors are more inclined to hold a more traditional view. More inclined to has the same meaning as more likely to. By the way, in addition to synonyms, we can also use antonyms, which are words of opposite meaning. For example, old is the antonym of new. So using the same sentence, we can paraphrase it into old people don't typically hold a liberal view. Well, Marcus, can you give us something a bit more advanced? Well, you might like this one. Let's say we want to paraphrase this sentence. I completed the assignment within 2 hours. Well, in a simple paraphrasing using a synonym, I can simply replace the word assignment with task. So we have, I completed the task within 2 hours. But what if I want to do more? I'm not happy with just changing the word assignment with task. Here are some other ways to paraphrase the sentence. The phrase within 2 hours can be replaced with something else. For example, within a span of 2 hours, in no more than 2 hours, in just under 2 hours. So using one of those phrases, we can have a new sentence that says, I managed to finish the task in just under 2 hours. Voila! We have paraphrased the sentence using synonyms. So far, these two methods are quite straightforward. And to be able to use synonyms, you just need to work on expanding your vocabulary range, read more, and listen to native speakers more. By the way, did you know that Presto English is a gold member of the CELPIP network? We are recognized by Prometric as a CELPIP preparation course provider. So if you need help with your CELPIP preparation, don't hesitate to choose Presto English. You can find more information about our training at the end of this video, or you can simply go to our website prestoenglish.com/training. Let's continue. Our third method to paraphrase is changing the word forms. This is different from using synonyms. Then, what does changing the word form mean? In the English language, we have different parts of speech such as nouns, verbs, adjectives, and so on. In order to paraphrase, it may be possible, for example, to change a noun to its verb or adjective form to create a new sentence with the same meaning. Well, let's not waste any more time. I will give you some sentences soon, and you can pause the video while thinking of paraphrases that you can make by changing the word forms. Are you ready? Let's go! We have 3 sentences for you, and try to paraphrase by changing the word forms of the underlined words. Again, pause the video if you want to try this exercise yourself before going through the sample answers with me. Sentence number 1. The demand for desktop computers declined sharply. So we want to paraphrase the word decline, which is a verb in this case, into something else. Sentence number 2. He is someone whom you can rely on. In the sentence, we underline the word rely on, which is also a verb, so try to paraphrase that. And sentence number 3, you need to decide quickly if you don't want to be left behind. We've underlined the verb decide, so try to change that. In fact, for this one, there are probably a few words that we can transform here. Let's look at our sample answers. For number 1, we can say, there was a sharp decline in the demand for computers. So now, we use the noun form to paraphrase the sentence. Actually, the adverb sharply has also changed into its adjective form sharp. There was a sharp decline in the demand for computers. Sentence number 2, we're going to change the verb rely on into its adjective form to make our new sentence. He is someone reliable. Or we can say, he is so reliable. If you want to use a synonym, you could also say he is dependable. For number 3, there are maybe different options here. The verb decide can be replaced with its noun form decision. Also, the verb need can be replaced with an adjective necessary. Even the adverb quickly can also be changed to its adjective form quick. If you haven't made one, take a moment to paraphrase this sentence. Okay, I hope you give it a try. Here are some examples of paraphrasing for the sentence. Number 1, your decision needs to be made quickly if you don't want to be left behind. Sentence number 2, you need to be decisive if you don't want to be left behind. And number 3, it is necessary for you to decide fast if you don't wish to be left behind. So all these 3 sentences have the same meaning. I understand that this method is slightly more difficult than simply using synonyms or changing word orders, but this is a chance for you to score extra points in your vocabulary. There are 2 other methods which we'll discuss very soon. However, there's one other thing that is guaranteed to help you improve the quality of your responses, and this is something that many test takers have taken advantage of. It's getting personalized feedback from qualified teachers or instructors or coaches. So how do you get that? Well, Presto English is offering an intensive 7-day CELPIP training. It's affordable, it's comprehensive, and you simply get to improve on areas that you otherwise have a hard time improving on your own. You get personalized feedback and corrections from me so that you know how to fix your mistakes and adopt the practical suggestions I give you in the session. To register, simply go to our website, prestoenglish.com/training. There will be different options there, but if you need help to choose what's best for you, talk to us. We have a live chat feature on our website, or you can simply send us an email. Don't go anywhere yet, we're not done. There are 2 more methods we'll cover, but I have a small favor to ask before we continue. Since you have watched up until this point, please take 2 seconds to give this video a like if you enjoy the content so that other viewers can find this video more easily. And of course, I'll be happy to have you as our newest subscribers too. Alright, let's return to our topic of discussion. Method number 4, that is changing the grammatical structure. I know many English learners often hate studying grammar, but your grammar skills can prove to be handy here. How do we do this? There are different ways, but converting a sentence from active voice to passive voice, or vice versa, is a common way to do this. But because we are discussing paraphrasing, I'm not going to go into the details of how we change active voice to passive voice. If you want us to make a video on this, let us know in the comments. But here are the examples of paraphrasing by changing the grammatical structure. Let's say we have this original sentence, I believe that the company should focus on customer satisfaction. To change this into passive voice, we can turn it into customer satisfaction should be the main focus of the company. So the object of the original sentence now becomes our new subject. Example number 2. They've chosen Vancouver to host the event next year. By turning it into a passive sentence, we can say, Vancouver has been chosen to host the event next year. Next, I'd like to give one more example that's not just converting active to passive. In this example, we will combine clauses into one. Here we have 2 sentences. I will sell my old laptop. After that, I will buy a new one. We can combine those 2 sentences into one and we'll get something like, after selling my old laptop, I'll buy a new one. You can also paraphrase by switching the order of the subject and object. For instance, from I enjoy reading mystery novels, we can make a new paraphrasing that says, reading mystery novels is something I enjoy. So there might be an overlap here with our first method, changing the word order. Finally, our last method, method number 5, and that is combining the methods that we've discussed so far. So it's possible to employ more than one method to paraphrase a sentence. Even though it may seem daunting at first, with more practice, you become more adept at paraphrasing. I'll show you 2 examples here. Here's the first sentence that we want to paraphrase. I agree that schools should not force students to purchase new textbooks. We can turn the sentence into, I support the opinion that students should be allowed to use secondhand textbooks. This new sentence uses synonyms and a change of grammatical structure to paraphrase the original statement. Example number 2. Even though there's not a lot of time left, we should not give up. We can turn this into something like, although we're short on time, we should keep going. Or, we should not give up even though we're running out of time. And here's another option. We shouldn't be discouraged even though we're pressed for time. I've said this in the beginning. Paraphrasing is useful for CELPIP and IELTS, so I thought this video wouldn't be complete without sample test questions. Coming up next are two sample topics from CELPIP. One is a speaking topic and the other is a writing topic, and we'll see how paraphrasing plays a part in the response. Here's a topic from Speaking Part 2, which is describing an experience. We're asked to talk about a time when we visited a place for the first time. You can talk about the first time you went to the museum, aquarium, or a public market, yada yada yada. So test takers who don't paraphrase may begin the response with a sentence like, I will talk about a time when I visited the museum for the first time. There's nothing wrong with that sentence. It's grammatical and it's suitable. But you're missing out on the chance to gain extra points in your vocabulary. The words used are directly taken from the topic. Instead of that, we should paraphrase the sentence. And here are some examples. I would like to share my thoughts on my trip to the museum. Or, let me share my very first experience of going to the Vancouver Aquarium. Here's another one. I'll talk about my first impression of the Museum of Modern Arts in Toronto. So just by making these changes, we have successfully paraphrased the original sentence and showed that we understood the topic fully. How would you rewrite the sentence? Let me know down below. And I've got one more example here. This time we use a writing topic. Here it is. Take a moment to read it. You live in an apartment and the building doesn't allow tenants to have pets. And now the building manager is sending out a survey and you have two options. Maintain the no pet policy or allow tenants to have pets in their units. If I choose option A, without paraphrasing, I can simply write, I would like to maintain the no pet policy. But that would be boring, right? It's our job to paraphrase that. What sentences can you come up with? Share your ideas with us in the comments. I've made some examples here to help you get your creative juices flowing. Sample number 1. The current no pet policy should stay as it is. Number 2. The existing no pet policy should remain in effect. Number 3. I would like to maintain the current no pet policy because blah blah blah. So you explain the reason. For example, oh, I'm allergic to pets. But what if we want to go with option B? Well, instead of writing, I want the management to allow tenants to have pets, we can paraphrase it into one of these sentences. I would like the management to give the freedom to tenants to keep pets. The management should grant the wish of tenants to raise pets in their units. Or, I would like the management to be flexible and allow us to have pets. Now that you've seen how to paraphrase and how you can incorporate this new skill into your speaking and writing responses, try to paraphrase the sentence and, again, write it in the comments. I'll let you know if the sentence is appropriate or not. Finally, if you have no partners to practice with or simply feel lost in your CELPIP preparation, get expert guidance and feedback through our 7-day CELPIP online training. Even if you're working full-time, you can still participate because of our flexible timing. In fact, the session itself, the feedback, the corrections, and the advice that you get will be game-changing. You will get mock tests to complete your preparation as well, so sign up now at prestoenglish.com and improve your skills before your test. I'm Marcus, and I look forward to working with you personally in one of our sessions. And before you leave, please subscribe to Presto English and give this video a thumbs up. Ciao!